Hi everyone, we are the Kennedys, Pete Kennedy, Maura Kennedy, and let us know right off the bat if you can see and hear us, because today's a very special day, and we're going to start off like this. Happy Hanukkah! And I see that you can hear us and see us.
Great.
And we can see you in our chat. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, we can see you. You all come funneling into us. And so we are going to do one more show of all originals. Mm-hmm. This will be the fourth one in a row. And a few people have asked us if that's all of our originals. And to be honest, it's not even a third or a quarter of them. We have lots and lots of songs, and but we thought we'd give you a good overview, and we took all your requests, so they're the ones that people most wanted to hear. And so we're going to start off today with request. Oh, and I want to say also, from all the requests we got, we picked songs that we felt kind of went with the themes of Thanksgiving and the Festival of Light, Hanukkah, both of which are this week. So we're going to start off with Jen Lennox's request.
Yeah.
Jen is the fabulous artist who did the cover art for Pete's book, Floodwood.
Up in Vermont.
Yeah.
She lives up there.
Up yonder.
And you wrote the words here were inspired by John Malcolm Brennan, right?
Yes, I was reading a book, a big fat yellow book of the New Yorker Book of Poetry. And I remember reading that one poem, and it brought me to tears. And I got the initial idea of the lyrics, and we fleshed it all out up on the third floor deck of our house back when we lived in Reston, Virginia. And this is called Bells and Loaves and Letters. 2, 3, 4.
want to send that out to Nancy Griffith too. That was one of her songs.
She
that
loved that
liked.
one. Yeah. Well, let me see. Yes, I will take that hint Zenny just mentioned on Facebook or on YouTube to hit the like button if you like what you hear so far. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I think there should be, if you're watching on YouTube, on the computer, there's a little icon down there, or you can go into the description below the video to like us. That improves our stream. Yeah, so, and before we continue on any further, we would like to remind you that we very gratefully accept your tips. That keeps the show going. It keeps us going these past almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for all of you who have helped us out in that way, and totally understanding of those of you who are not in the position to do so. But if you are and you want to help us out, it's venmo.com/the_Kennedys. You can also go the PayPal route, paypal.me/thekennedysmusic. There's also other options for support, Zelle or U.S. mail, and you can find all that if you go to our website, kennedysmusic.com. There's a tip jar right there on the homepage, and we thank you very much. So with that out of the way, we are going to move right along. This is a song that I wrote. So how long have we been married now? 27 years? Mm-hmm. 27 years. And I wrote this the morning of our 25th anniversary because I woke up from a dream. You know, you have those long story dreams and you have some dreams that are disjointed. This was just one image of a quarter spinning around.
Wow.
And I woke up, I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, it's our 25th anniversary.
So, a quarter, yeah.
Right?
This is for Donna and Mike, right? Donna and Mike Tassoon.
Yes, Donna and Mike Tassone asked for this one. Thank you for pointing that out. All your requests. This is from our latest album, Safe Until Tomorrow, and this song is called Umbrella. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spin a quarter, 2.5 times 10. It's how many years it's been since you and I set out on that highway over water and under the bridges crossed. None of the joy gets washed away downriver when you're going my way. Come along, there's bound to be some pain sometimes, but we'll stay strong, sharing our umbrella in the rain. I remember back when I was young, foolish as they come, I had a vision of us up in the distance. So we followed a never-ending road, as long as I foretold, and even longer when we live for every instant. Come along, there's bound to be some pain sometimes, but we'll stay strong, sharing our umbrella in the Yeah, that's
a
for
good
Donna and for Mike. And this next one is a song from our 500,000 Miles album, which from now to the end of the year, we're giving away the download of this album. It looks like this. Can you see that? Oh, it's got my studio lights are drowning it out. There you go. 500,000. This is one of our people really like this album. How do you say it? It's our one of our best loved albums. And
It's
remember
got a lot
this
of
one.
songs that we have played live.
It has.
I think.
And
People know those songs.
and it's out of print everywhere except for one place where you can get it as a download. It's not in physical form. It's not on iTunes or Amazon. But from now to the end of the year, if you order any of our records or books, you get a free download card. It tells you how to download it. And this is also a sticker, so you can put it on your computer or your guitar or your suitcase or your bumper, anything. So that's all on our website. And we're going to move right along to, this is a song that we wrote for other friends of ours. Last week we played 9th Street Billy. This time, this is a song that we wrote for a restaurant that's no longer there, but the cook was Japanese and the hostess was and manager was his wife, and she was from Nepal. And they would mix their languages with ours being English, hers being Tibetan, and his being Japanese. And so we put all three of those languages in this song, and it's a song of greeting and blessing. This is Namaste. 1, 2, 3.
On a crowded city street or a garden path, when I meet with a tearful eye or a soulful laugh, I give the same greeting to everyone. It's really quite simple when it's said and done. Namaste, namaste, domo arigato, namaste, namaste. May you walk in peace, namaste, namaste, domo arigato. Acknowledge the divine in everyone you meet, yeah. Forgive, forget,
going to send that upstairs to our brother-in-law, John. He's right one floor above us. Not the metaphorical upstairs, but the actual literal upstairs. And it's his birthday this week, so domo arigato and namaste to you. This next song is one we've gotten a lot of requests for, and it's from our Angel Fire album. There's a couple songs about angels on the album. This is one of them. Guess which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is actually, we should mention, this is based on a Gabrielle Fauré melody.
it is. Yeah.
So we steal from the best. In the key of E minor. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Angels cry for spirits of the night. They shadow them in flight till dawn. There beneath their winter-woven wings, they're here in misty rings and gone. Gone where the watchers who wait in the woods know the stars of the heavens by heart. Blazing kings that cross the endless sky, they gently fade in light of dawn. Angels rest where shadows hold their breath, and dreamers sleep like death, so cold. The eyes you dare not meet in dreams will pierce your soul like beams of gold. Ride, angels, ride on your horses of light, chasing souls with the runners of dawn. The sighs of golden fireflies, they're here before your eyes and gone.
We've gotten a bunch of questions over the past couple weeks. Guitar chimes. Yes. Hey, Cassie. Those guitar chimes are called harmonics. And you explained that a few weeks ago, but a few people have asked about this guitar. A number of you have noticed that Pete played only this guitar last week, didn't switch out guitars like he often does. You're probably going to do that again this week, I'm going to guess.
Yep.
And but people also want to know what guitar it is. So first we'll answer that question. What is this guitar, Pete?
It's a Gretsch
L3.
style 3L.
3L.
But it's based on, I would say, a Gibson double O, what was called a double L00 from the 1930s.
Like a Robert Johnson
when you
kind
see a
of thing.
picture of Robert Johnson, he's playing this kind of size of guitar.
And
It's got the old style sunburst and everything.
But it's a small guitar with a really loud sound.
Yeah.
It's really loud.
Yeah, guitars this size have real strong mid-range. So they're super loud, even though they're They're small.
And oh,
yep.
go ahead, continue.
Nope, that's it.
Well, speaking of loud, now my guitar's so big, and it's also loud. I had a few requests over the past couple weeks to. One person asked me to maybe put a mute in it. I tried that many weeks back before it got fixed in the shop, but it seemed to cut out the bass response, which I didn't want to do. So I've been experimenting lately. Usually I play with a guitar pick, and that's really loud. So I don't want to play with bare fingers because that's too quiet. But I have this compromise that I'm not a false fingernail person, but these actually work really great as picks. And they're pretty too, but I only use them on my picking hand. So I've got one like just a regular hand, and then one with these these lady fingers. But they actually work. They're like a bunch of little picks, so I can play. I get the articulation of the string without the really loud volume of a regular guitar.
So when you don't use the pick, do you squeeze your thumb and forefinger together?
See, it looks like I'm holding a pick, doesn't it? Because when I hold a pick, it looks like this. But when I don't hold a pick,
So wow. So
It's
you
not-
keep your hand the same position
well, because I'm hitting it with my
with the
fake fingernail,
Uh-huh.
and it's not that much quieter. It's just enough quieter so that hopefully you can hear the lyrics. Does that all make sense? These are our secret tips now. And you know who I first heard about this from? The first person I ever heard of who used fake fingernails as guitar picks. Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
David Jacob Strain.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he? And he's a great finger.
And that was back when
One
he
of
was
the
like
best.
17 years old. He was out on the circuit playing with these fingers, and he knew more about this stuff than I did because he's a real great guitar player.
Should we do a new song that's not on any album yet?
Not on any album. I'm going to take a sip from my coffee first.
This was inspired when we looked out the window.
My cup of the day from one of my many flea marketing adventures. Sorry, go ahead.
When we looked at the window and we saw a really big hawk in the backyard, and we noticed that birds usually sing really loud out there in the spring, but they weren't singing.
Yeah, all of a
They
sudden
all
it
got
was
really
quiet.
quiet.
And we didn't know what kind of hawk it was, so I took a picture of it, and then I went online and looked, and we figured it out, and we put all that. More of the guitar fashionista. That's me, Vicky. Yes, indeed. We put all that information in this song, including it's a pretty good description of my sister and brother-in-law's backyard as well. This is called "Silence is a Warning." Ready? 1, 2, 3. Well, it's a little too quiet outside, where there was a bird song riot this morning. Now there's a Cooper's hawk in the dogwood tree. The silence is a warning. And it's a little too quiet outside. Such a day in May, they'd surely be swarming. But no honeybees in the apple trees. The silence is a warning. Sounds I long to hear should be ringing in my ear, but now they're silent. The melody is near, but it's tangled in the fear of something violent. Well, it's a little too quiet outside. I can see the storm clouds overhead forming. There's no thunder yet, but we're under threat. The silence is a warning. Come on, Pete. is a warning. It's a bit of a metaphor, too, for the ecology and the state of things on the planet. You know?
Silence is a warning.
Silence is a warning. Well, Joanne Mitchell asked for this next one, and we thought it'd be a good one to do on this Thanksgiving week because it's got a little bit of mention of thankfulness. in it. Gratitude. That's the word I was looking for, gratitude. And this is a song we based on, we've mentioned this before, but we based on a movie called The Mission, starring Jeremy Irons and Robert De Niro. Great movie. And this is called it's actually based on the opening scene. And this is called A Bend in the River. Candles are burning in the midnight mission. The past is a flood, the future a fire. Your eyes are ablaze with the fire of wishing. The wishes aren't wings and prophets are liars. So draw on the water, your circle of magic, circle of magic, circle of dread. Slip from as the waves take you under, blanket of lilies covers your head. We come to this place, a bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. We come to the water, a bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. Ooh. Builds. I like the build. I like songs that build. What is that tiny sunburst? Laura, you just missed the whole...
It's a Gretsch style 3
Rewind.
And it's a 00 size, like the small Gibsons that were they were thought of as big guitars before dreadnoughts and jumbos were invented. So it's a 1930s style, but it's a new guitar.
This next song, we've gotten some requests for, and this is a song when we wrote it in response to Vin Skelser. Remember, we listened to his show Idiot's Delight a lot, well, that it kind of grew out of our affection for that show and for Vin.
Yeah, it's a mixture of that and anthropology class. Margaret Mead and stuff.
And this is called Tribe. This is from our Life is Large album. It's called Tribe. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tribe. 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 Me and you are a tribe of two. Got our own legends and a myth or two. Got a lot of love, that's where it's at. In our natural habitat, we're a tribe. That's our vibe. Just me and you, tribe. That's our vibe. Just me and you. You send a signal, a flash, a sign. Our own language, our own time. Our own history, our own land. Our own purpose, so take my hand, we're a tribe. That's our vibe, just me and you, tribe. That's our vibe, just me and you. Here in our home, we know what we know. The world we live in will change and grow. Respect the elders, embrace the new. Here in our very own tribe, we're a tribe. That's our vibe, just me and you, tribe. That's our vibe, just me and you, tribe. 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 Tribe.
I like that one. We're going to do another new song.
Yeah.
This actually was released as a single, a digital single. And we wrote it for Greta Thunberg back when she spoke to with the
climate change.
the climate change, the global conference a couple of years ago. And over the Thanksgiving holiday, our relatives came, sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews. And I had a book of Greta Thunberg that I gave to my niece Grace, because Grace is the same age that Greta was when she started her activism. And I thought that might be useful to Grace. She might find it interesting and inspiring. And while they were here visiting us, I showed Grace and William, our niece and nephew, my collection of sea glass and my collection of little green bottles and my collection of crystals. I have all this stuff. And they love those collections. And they asked where I got the sea glass. And we live right along the Hudson River. There's a lot of places where you can go, but there's one secret special beach that's kind of slightly inaccessible. You have to know how to get there. So I took the kids down and they collected all this beautiful beach glass. And within an hour, Grace and William started making these necklaces. We went over to the craft store and got some wire, and they started churning out these necklaces. So I was very proud of them, and I told them I would wear them today on the show.
I got one too. It's beautiful.
They made them for all the relatives.
Yeah.
Like they're just churning them out. So they'll probably have an Etsy store before you know it. But we're going to do this song for Greta Thunberg and also for Grace and William. And this is it's a letter to the earth, basically. It's addressing the planet Earth and our desire to heal her. And this is called Heal You. 2, 3, 4.
I want to see you here tomorrow and feel your breezes blow eternal off the mountains. I want your lakes and streams to sparkle and feed the oceans and the fertile fields and fountains. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. And the sun will rise on a new dawn if we can. And the tides will turn again and again. I want to leave a world behind me that's fit to feed the generations that come after. And if they listen, they will find me. I'll leave the birds their song, the children all their laughter. I want to heal you now. 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 For the air we breathe is sacred in our lungs. It's the song in our hearts, the prayer on our tongues. It sounds like I want to heal you now. 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 I want to heal you
You know what most impressed me about taking the kids on that beach walk was the very first thing that Grace did when we got down to the beach. She noticed some bottles and cans and garbage, and she had a bag that she was going to put her beach glass in, and she started picking up trash before she picked up a single piece of beach glass. So that really moved me, and I believe that this next generation is gonna take charge and do all the right stuff. All right. Well, this next one is a song that we wrote, and we recorded it on our Half a Million Miles album, but we also recorded it as the Strangelings on our now out of print Strangelings album. And it's based on some mythology. The mythology of Mother Moon and the cycles of life and fertility and all that good stuff. Ready?
Yeah.
This is called Nua. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nua was the moon maiden in the old Sumerian tale. 3 days she went below the flood in the underworld of the whale. 13 moons to a single sun, and so the worth of gold to silver was 13 to 1 in the ancient days of old. 3 days in the storm and 3 on the flood, the crescent moon her arc. 3 days the sky was drenched in blood, and 3 days the moon was dark. Deep in the pagan forest, in a midnight summer's dream, where the soul is a house of tarot cards with the bones of the past made clean. A dusty riddles old as time in the grove where the great oak stood. What has become of the moonlight queen, cloaked in her velvet hood? 3 days in the storm and 3 on the flood, the crescent moon her arc. 3 days the sky was drenched in blood, and 3 days the moon was dark. How the moon still shines like ginger wine and honey in the dark. Will the dove ever bear that olive branch to Nua's lonely ark? 3 days in the storm and 3 on the flood, the crescent moon her arc. 3 days the sky was drenched in blood, and 3 days the moon was dark. 3 days in the storm and 3 on the flood, the crescent moon her arc. 3 days the sky was drenched in blood, 3 days the moon was dark.
You know they're loving the chimes today, the harmonics.
Oh, the chimes too.
Everybody loves the chimes. Oh, well, we mentioned John Malcolm Brennan. We quoted some Kerouac, I think, today in Namaste.
Namaste. Yep.
And there's probably other instances where we do that sort of thing. But we're going to do a song now that we wrote about Emily Dickinson, who I'm sure many of you know, but some of you might not. She was a great poet, but she never was recognized in her lifetime. And she thought of her body of work as a letter that she was writing to the world, and the world never got that letter, and they never wrote back. So we took that idea and wrote the song for her. This is called A Letter to Emily. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When moonlight finds your gabled room and plays like fire on your paper and gloom, no coward soul, your life your own. You knew the infinite power of hope. Turn the lock, seal the box, a letter's all you will need. Ask the sea, Emily, will your words ever breathe? They breathe in me, your poet's pen, so wild and strong. Are you a falcon, a storm, or a song? Turn the lock, seal the box, a letter's all you will need. Ask the sea, Emily, will your words ever breathe? They're breathing in me, words of the heart are still unlearned. To write the letter we never return. Oh, Emily, to write the letter, Emily.
Emily Dickinson. There's a little bit of Emily in I think, a lot of the folks who watch this show. I know there's a lot of creative people who watch the show who may never get their work out to the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one goes out to all of them.
All right. What's next?
That's why we ended on that note. Because it leaves the song slightly unfinished.
Yeah.
You don't go at the end. You leave it. Because that's like her work.
Well, speaking of artistic people, Joanne Mitchell asked for another request. And she's a very artistic person.
This one's kind of rocking.
It's a rocking little song. You can get up and dance to this.
Yeah.
It's not a bossa nova either. It's like a, leaping around. Work off that turkey that you ate all week.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. This is called Free. It's in the key of A. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You are the one I've waited for my whole life long. 'Cause you are the one, and it feels so strong. It's everything I wanted. dance and sway with every breeze, and I walk on the weeds. Well, they seem to bend beneath my feet, but I'm dead in a world of TV screens and magazines. But I come alive with the jungle beats and tambourines. I simplify. There's nothing I would need. Free, it's free, it's free, it's free, it's free. Nothing I would need. It's free. Nothing I would need.
I had to do a little conglomerate of all my various vocal parts on the
A
record.
lot of parts in there.
Kind of morph them into one. Oh yay! My favorite moment of the show right now is we're gonna do a song that Pete wrote. That it's got to be easily my favorite song that you ever wrote.
Wow.
I've said this
Okay.
before, so maybe you can guess what it is. But I think it's a perfect song for both Thanksgiving and Hanukkah.
Yeah,
It's just a soulful, beautiful song from our West album,
because it's Jubilee time.
Jubilee Time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Seems you've lost your driving wheel. No one knows the way that you feel. Trouble you've seen can make you cry. Make you sit and wonder why. Lo, the bird is on the wing. There's nothing left for us to do but sing, clinging
up-paced song in a weird way. And it's in that chorus. That's a little quote from the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam.
Yeah.
Lo, the bird is on the wing.
The bird is on the wing.
Meaning time is flying like a bird.
We're gonna do a couple more songs for you. We always run over. That's what we do. And but this is one that Bo Jane asked for.
We got to do Bojangles song.
Gotta do Bo Jane song. Ready?
Yep.
I knew a man, he never went very far. He had a hollow in his soul, a hollow in his heart. He'd come home every night, turn on the TV. Oh, but he ain't nothing like you or me. He ain't nothing like you or me. Life is large, bigger than the both of us. Life is large, all you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. I knew a woman, she lived in our town. She had a bad situation, it nearly took her down. Ooh, and then one day, I guess it just got old. Yeah. Well, she packed her bags and hit the road, filled the tank and took control. Life is large, bigger than the both of us. Hey, life is large, all you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. Only got one chance to walk this line. If you should get lost or stuck in time, just believe this road does not end here. No. How do you want to be remembered? A raging fire or a dying ember? Life is large, bigger than the both of us. Hey, life is large, all you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. Hey, life is large. Life is large. Ooh, life is large. Yeah, yeah.
we are going to do something a little different. A couple people have asked for this. While we were doing all of our original songs, they asked for some of the songs that we've recorded by other writers. And we have plenty of those. So next week, we're going to do all songs by other writers, some of our favorite writers, Richard Thompson and Bob Dylan and Dave Carter. And
Songs that have been on our CDs.
all songs that have been on our CDs. So we hope you'll tune in. Should we do Safe Until Tomorrow? We are well over time. Let's do it. You want to sing along. I know you do. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Hanukkah. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And this is for all of you. Safe Until Tomorrow with the Kennedys. 2, 3, 4.
You watched the fire burn on the hillside. Thought you were safe until the flames were at your door. And later on, the bitter rains brought on a landslide so hard to fight a foe you've never seen before. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow, I promise you there'll be 10,000 better days. I do believe that you believe the things you thought you heard and saw the things that made your
Kennedys here wishing you very happy holidays. Stay safe. Watch out for that new variant. And this is the best defense you have, this and your vaccines. And peace and love, because that works too. But you got to get the other things. So we'll see you here, right back here next week, 2 p.m. Love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye now.